Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday, March 17th, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am responsible for my path in the unfolding stories. And today we have new moon in Pisces. This new moon feels very powerful. It is happening at 6:11 a.m. It is happening at 26 degrees. Which just made me realize that here it is. Yay. I didn't get out my book, the Sabian Symbol book. But this feels so powerful, and I'm going to show you. I have these two cards again. I had them reversed yesterday, and I have them upright today, and they're both nines. It's the Sorrow card at 9, and it's the Exhaustion card at 9. And 9 energy, especially in the Tarot, brings completion energy. And being that this, I almost called it an eclipse. It's not an eclipse. This new moon energy is happening near the final degrees of Pisces and very close to Chiron, which is finishing up in Pisces. Chiron's at 28. There feels like there is a strong completion of karmic energies that will be unwinding through this energy. Now I just looked at the Rumi card that I pulled as well, and the Rumi card speaks of letting something go. I scanned it really quick, what is this about? It speaks of letting something go. And so even though new moon energy is so much about intention, the intention to bring in, the intention to manifest, the intention to be, part of your intention in and through this may be to release, complete that which has been compelling you to sorrow, that which, or this card, that which needs to die. What needs to die? What needs to come to karmic completion in your life at this time? Or that which is exhausting you, that which is wearing you down. This card in some decks is like, where you're carrying so much. What is it that you need to put down because you've been carrying and it's just become this burden that's wearing you out? So we have this opportunity with this new moon energy. We also have to dig into the fact that it's 26 degrees. 26 degrees adds up to 8 energy, and 8 is divine responsibility. And when we tap into our responsibility, when we tap into a place where we are responding, stuff changes, stuff shifts. When we tap into that energy, that's where we tap into our power. And we have to realize at these final degrees of Pisces, we are tapping into this divine place of power. It is your responsibility to tell the story you want to tell. It is your divine power to tell the story that you want to tell. As I was meditating on this new moon energy, Spirit just kept taking me in and out of winding through these stories. And they all really did come down to it is in your power to utilize the oneness, to utilize the all that is that comes through with Pisces energy to help guide the life path that you live, the unfolding story that you live. When I was sitting here writing it down, what popped into my head was, what is that? Bruce Almighty, when he's like, I've got the power, and he's like, but you have that. And with Pisces, it is your divine responsibility to tap into that energy and recognize it and start utilizing that. So we have that power in and through this new moon. Yesterday I spoke of the Sabian symbol, which I think is another part of this as well that we need to look at. The Sabian symbol for Pisces 26 is watching the very thin moon crescent appearing at sunset. Different people realize that the time has come to go ahead with their different projects. It is also in your power to not try to direct somebody else's path, to not try to direct somebody else's project. It's not meaning that you can't feed in and that your stories and paths won't cross, but it's up to everybody to tell their own story. And I think that's part of the empowerment that we can do right now is reminding people, hey, how are you going to tell your story? What is your story going to be? And letting people live the story that they came to live. I said it yesterday, the live and let live. And of course, this doesn't mean that you tolerate things that you don't like in the world. But instead of trying to control it, you work your story and you work your place in the cosmic unfolding of things rather than trying to direct and tell somebody else's story. And I think this is a really important kind of juncture for us to realize that. I think part of the exhaustion and the sorrow is where we have been trying to tell somebody else's stories and the frustration that comes with that, because it never really works, does it? And it doesn't really feel good, because it does feel like carrying too much when you're carrying somebody else's story. So, time to let that go. I don't think I have anything else to say about the new moon energy, so I'm going to shift to the next thing that we have going on. We have Mercury shifting into Capricorn. Now, what I love is that this shift happens after the new moon, which means we have Mercury at 29 degrees in Sagittarius at the time of the new moon, which just feeds into that passion and power energy, that 29 degree firepower, inspiration power, expansion power is part of the energy field at the peak of the new moon energy. So utilize that. But after that, even Mars shifting into Capricorn, even though it's going to be at 0 degrees, even through that, that feels like it's going to be very supportive in helping you empower your responsibility when it comes to taking the actions in alignment with your story. Now that you realize that you are the storyteller, this will just help you unfold that. I thought I wrote down what time it is, but I don't know what I wrote right there. It looks like Rev is what I wrote right there. It changes at 9:40 a.m. Rev. I really don't know what that was. I'll figure that out later and be like, oh man. But Mars in Capricorn, we are responsible for the action steps that we're taking. We are responsible for the decisions that lead to the action steps that we're taking. And hopefully we remember the wisdom of the yin as we are responsible for the decisions that we make, that we tune into that energy as part of the divine manifestation. Right now, Capricorn is going through such major changes with Saturn and Pluto working through the energy of Capricorn. Part of the changes I think all of society needs is coming into that balance. I was playing with a friend various words of beyond matriarchy, beyond the patriarchy. Uniarchy came up. I was like, we are going to be unicorns. Intraarchy. These were two of mine. She had good ones too, but they're not popping into my head right now. Intraarchy, meaning the integration and then, the manifestation of that. So that's what we want to remember. Even as Mars moves into Capricorn, we may feel the pull to move into the other way of being with that. We may feel the pull of going into patriarchy, control, structure. This is how it's always been, so this is how it's going to be. But we are responsible each for our own story. And this is your chance to shift that energy and feel the empowerment that comes from shifting it. Please, Lala, don't stand on my cards. I like them there. All right, the other shift we have, which I did write down the time of this, is the moon shifting into Aries. So the moon will be shifting into Aries. Wish I had written it better. 11:57 a.m. Yes, that is the time. 11:57 a.m. And after the moon shifts into Aries, the moon will be meeting in a square to Mars at 0 degrees. Now, between Mars shifting, the new moon energy, and the moon shifting into Aries, we may have a day, which I think is going to be good. Because I have to say, I haven't been sleeping very much with the solar flares that were going on between the moon in Aquarius and the solar flares. There was a point this week where I was like, oh, yes, I am very tired, but I am not going to be sleeping. Hopefully today, with this shift, there's kind of a downturn with that allows some unfolding, that allows some deep meditation. Like I said, I meditated for a while on this scope before I actually did it, just to tune into the energies, because it does feel very important. So this may be one of those days. Anytime any planet shifts a sign, it can be, you can kind of feel it. Again, I always liken it to airplanes changing their speed. When you're sitting in the airplane, you're suddenly like, what's happening? It feels that way, as to me at least, when planets, including the moon, shift their sign. So you may feel a little bit of that change in the pressure, change in the energy. Take it easy on yourself, and especially if you feel called to rest, That's a really big change for Mars and Capricorn. Mars and Capricorn traditionally be like, I have the things to get done. I am the leader. I will lead everybody through all the things. You as leader of your own life, you as leader of your story, get to decide if rest is the part of your story that you're at right now. For me, I am hoping that is the case. Moon into Aries. Moon into Aries often feels very renewing, and it can bring in energy. So you may have that point where you're like, oh, down in the energy, and then you feel the influx, maybe after the moon moves into Aries and adjusts a little bit. So, yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day. So, it may be all day long, you're like, I have no energy, I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to go out and be the snake. That's my version of St. Patrick's Day. But realize that with that square, again, there may be some resistance that comes up in and through you with it. You are the leader. Tell your own story about this, and you'll get that figured out just fine. Sun tomorrow is going to conjunct Chiron. But as it builds into this conjunction, and even with this new moon, like I said, we are moving through this time of releasing these energies. That may also be part of the downtime energy. I always say a lot of times when Spirit wants to work on me, I will get so tired because Spirit's like, you have to stop helping. You just have to go out of your head, get out of your consciousness, go into your sleep, tune into some of the subconscious process there, and we're going to do stuff. So you may feel a little bit of that as Sun and Chiron meet up and old karmic energies are released. So let's look at the other cards. It is your job how you are showing up in the story. Body, mind, spirit, soul on purpose. Body, mind, spirit, soul empowered. So this to me is like the fulcrum, the focal point of this new moon energy, but it goes hand in hand with this creator power. You are the creator when you tune in body, mind, spirit, soul. When you tune in balanced as your balanced yin energy. Balanced yin energy. Very important. I love this tuning in card. It actually came in reverse. But what I think it is really about is getting tuned in. Like I said, meditate today if you can. But one of my favorite things, I don't know what it's called, and it's like Snarky Tarot or something like that. And it's in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, which I wish I had it sitting next to me so I could show you the card. But in the traditional deck, there's a guy, he's sitting there kind of there with the tree. There's 3 cups sitting over there. He's kind of meditating with the tree. Kind of in a space of discontentment almost. And here's this little cloud. And the cloud is holding out a chalice. The cloud is holding out a cup to him. And in the Snarky Tarot thing that I've seen, it says, the cloud is saying, take the damn cup. That to me is like the universe. Take the damn cup. Take the cup of your power by telling your story. Body, mind, spirit, soul. Take the cup of these blessings that we are trying to offer you in through this. Take the damn cup because you've let these other cups go, and here is your prize. Here is the wonder coming in. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret that, and I'll let you see where does that fit in your life. But this is part of all that's coming. And it may be that the cup hasn't quite been handed to you yet, but the cup is coming. Take the damn cup. I love the Miracles Now cards that I have. Sometimes no is the most loving response. I don't know that I need to get into that so much, but you are the director. You are responsible for your story. You are responsible for what you're carrying. That goes with that 9 of Wands energy, that exhaustion energy. Where are you carrying something that you need to now say no in order to love yourself? I make decisions from a place of intuition and power, and that goes hand in hand with that Mars moving into Capricorn, making those decisions, but making it still with the yin in mind, listening to that intuition to help you be empowered. And finally, let's tune into the Rumi card. Dance of the Divine Feminine. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon stood still like rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. All right. You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see. Is it moving? Of course. It's hurtling through the skies, spinning, tilted on its axis. It's amazing you aren't passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. Yet you stand there imagining you have a choice of not moving. What funny foolishness. Let us laugh about it together. How can you even imagine it? Only through some misplaced fear. It is such a small craziness, really. You can cast it off, that small crazy fear. Let it return to the Earth Mother to become fertilizer for the far grander and more exciting insanity of divine love instead. Give up that tiny insanity in favor of the greater craziness of love. You cannot be unmoved by it. The rhythm of life will get you shaking, your hips eventually. How could you not become entranced by the gleaming dance floor, shimmering with possibility and invitation? I love this because the other day in my Past Lives Intensive group, we pulled an Isis card, and the Isis card was about sound healing, but I was like, we have to dance, we have to move to process this energy. So, yes. Dance of the Divine Feminine, yes. This oracle comes to you with guidance. Your life may feel as though it's being tipped upside down. Perhaps you feel as though the great beloved, in a feisty mood, has grabbed your ankles, is holding you upside down, and shaking you wildly until your skirt is over your head, or the pockets of your pants become freed of their contents. Key and wallet dropping to the floor in disarray. Your hair is messy, your bottom is in the air, and your sense of orientation is nowhere to be found. Blood is rushing to your head, and goodness knows you want to be put down to have a moment to come to your senses. So the beloved will give you that gift, but don't imagine it will last for too long. The great beloved esteems you capable of so much more than being sure-footed and sensible. You are capable of more whirling and stumbling, whilst inspired by the music of the spheres. If you just accept the great invitation to dance, there won't be so much roughhousing going on. It won't be needed because your hair will already be a mess, your blood will already be pumping, and you'll be sweating, laughing, smiling, and dancing. The great beloved will be alive in you, which is all the grand seducer ever wanted in the first place, even with the jokes and the horseplay. Disarrayed and disheveled by the divine beloved, you are able to break out of the too ordinary world. You will explore the delightful consequences of rocked boats and upset apple carts being swept away by love as you dare to dream bolder and wilder dreams for yourself and the world. There is bigger magic for you to weave this lifetime. Prosaic priorities inherited from the world are stuff and nonsense. It is the priorities of the heart that matter to you. If you are ever to right yourself whilst the beloved is tipping you upside down like a roaring or a soaring bird in a most impressive aerial dynamics, it will be through establishing right priorities, the priorities of your own heart. So ask your heart what matters most and attend to that. Soon you'll be able to find your orientation, even if everything you have once held on to appears to be shimmering and insubstantial, a mere dance of light rather than solid ground. This will become easy for you because your orientation will flow from within, from the heart, and no matter what shift and changes take place around you, your center will remain strong. This is what the beloved wants for you. Such peace and relief it shall bring to you, but perhaps some shaking about is required. First, in case you are reluctant to give up some of the mainstays, unaware of how much they drain life away from your heart center, that exhaustion energy. This oracle brings you this message also. There is something you are holding on to, a person, a place, a thing, a belief, a vision, and you need to let it go because it wants to grow. It may grow and change into something utterly different, or it may grow into exactly what you are imagining. Whichever outcome, growth is happening, and you'll find you enjoy the way much more with greater flow and support and less bashing of your head against the proverbial brick wall if you can let it happen. Don't worry if it seems as though your world is coming to an end or you are losing something you once loved. This is just shaking about of the great beloved to lead you deeper into a sweeter dance of divine being and becoming. Put your focus into your heart and realize you are more ready than you think. Now shake those hips, stomp those feet, close your eyes, and clap your hands. There, that's better already. All right, so the sacred honoring ritual, besides turning up the music and dancing, Pisces rules the feet. Pisces rules dancing. So dance with this new moon energy. Very powerful. Sacred honoring ritual. Say the following aloud. What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. Repeat it 3 times, or however many times feel necessary for you at some deeper part of your being to really believe in what you are saying. You'll know when that happens because you will feel more peace and presence within, and then you will have completed your sacred honoring ritual. What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls the butterfly. And dance. Dance. Fly. Move yourself through this story. See what you can shift. See what you can shake off. Because there's a lot of life that's coming for you, headed for you right now, and it is your responsibility to tune into that. So, I know this is a longer scope, and it's coming out late too, but I hope you enjoyed that. You can always book readings at GaiaBlooming.com. There is enough love in the world for you. The better it gets, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.